Hello everybody, Taff coming in with another Taff's Word, and yeah, very few and far between because there's not been an awful lot to talk about until the last few days, to be honest with you. The transfers incoming have slowed up, which you could sort of expect. We did have 6 quick-fire transfers coming in. Newbley went 8, Tozer went 8, now we're still waiting on Lombardi. Now, there's no telling what's going to happen on the Lombardi front. I think if he ends up staying, I'd imagine the longevity of getting him to sign could be down to him figuring out his injury. Could be figuring out that how long he's actually going to be out for. Could be down to putting his rehab first and then promising the club, look, I'll sign the contract, just let me sort myself out first. It could be something along those sort of lines, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, he's put up a new Twitter account. It is his. It's not a verified account as of yet, but it is his Twitter account. Obviously, he's been discussing stuff with Newbley on there. So, pardon me. And he's decked it out with all Newport County stuff. So he's him in a Newport County top, and him in Newport County stuff for his background as well. So his profile and background pictures are him in Newport County stuff. So, for me, a good sign. Maybe got it ready to show fans his rehab and show them that he's signing, I hope. Because at the end of the day, people are saying that we could use his wages on something else. Yes, but imagine a fully fit Lombardi coming into your team, a quarter of the way through your season. That there would be like having a big advantage, new signing type person coming in at a time when no one else is going to have that kind of advantage. That's the sort of impact he could potentially make. So that's why I'm still hoping that he signs for us. Just at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world if he doesn't. If he signs for somebody else, so be it. Like I say, his wages will be used on someone to replace him. We probably won't replace him, but we'll still get someone good for League 2 standard on the wage that he's probably on. Say we don't know this stuff, so we can only really speculate on wages and stuff like that. But in my opinion, Lombardi would be a hell of a signing if we can keep him. So there we go. On to the other stuff that's going on. Now, there's 2 things that have got our faithful a bit riled up. First of all, there's the Bristol City game being played behind closed doors. And then the kit launch and meet and greet being in Friars Walk at 4 PM on a Tuesday. So we'll go in order. We'll go with the played behind closed doors. I mean, there's a good element to this and a bad one. The good element is that England ended up winning, so it would have been a bit of a bust for us. We probably would have lost money on the game because how many people would actually come to watch us against Bristol City when, at the time, England are playing in a World Cup semi-final. You're not going to get anyone from Bristol to come to watch Newport County against Bristol City when England are in a World Cup semi-final. You're not going to get as many people from Newport who would have otherwise been interested in coming to watch Newport County versus Bristol City when there's a World Cup semi-final on anyway. So I think whoever planned the fixture date didn't look at the World Cup fixture dates because even though we've had World Cup games on, there's been friendlies in and between them, so people can watch a World Cup game one evening. There's no World Cup game the next day, and then there's a local team in a friendly match, and there's nothing to stop them from watching. But when they're playing at the same time, you can't go. If you want to watch the World Cup, you're going to want to watch the World Cup at the end of the day. It's as simple as that. It's different if it's a competitive Newport County game, but it's a friendly match. How many, other than the diehards, I mean, at the end of the day, I'd have gone. Don't get me wrong, I'd have gone. But how many other people out there would have? And would it have been a viable thing for us to do in a business sense if that was the case? It's disappointing that it's going to be played behind closed doors because this so-called stellar tie for a friendly match is Stoke under 23s now. I don't see that as a stellar match. We're in a position where we could have welcomed to Rodney Parade a good side to get a nice bit of crowd in because at the end of the day, it's been public now. It is public knowledge that the club has financial problems. We have to lose 250k, or roughly 250k. That's a calculated amount a season to be competitive in the league. That's just how it's got to go. So how are we going to recover that? How are we going to fill that gap other than asking the fans just to put money down? Give them a game to go and watch, maybe get people who don't support the club wanting to come and see something or do something. We've got to find a way of plugging that gap. And at the moment, a meet and greet at Friars Walk during a time in the middle of the week when the majority of people are going to be in work. Congratulations. There we go. I can't go to that, and I'm sure there's plenty of other people like me who can't go. But if it was at 7 o'clock and it was somewhere like Rodney Parade where the parking isn't quite so bad, and we were in a position where we could sell some merchandise as well, make it a bit of a spectacle of an event, then we're in a position where we'd actually make a bit of money out of it. A meet and greet for the kit launch could have been something that, if planned properly, something of a money-spinning event for us. But we put it in the city centre, which isn't a big issue, but how are we going to be able to sell stuff without having to pay for the privilege of doing it in our city centre? You know, make ourselves a bit of money. You know, how are we going to do it without it costing us? We can't. But if we'd had it over Rodney Parade, it could have. You know, we could have made a bit of money out of it. There's no summer fun day or anything like that. I don't know, DSA did a fun day 4 years ago? 3 years ago. DSA did a summer fun day 3 years ago, and they made roughly around about 4k, and that was without the presence of any proper Newport County presence there. Now, you do something like that, and you bring some players down for another sort of meet and greet thing, proper open fun day, you know, bouncy castles, ice creams, donuts, you know, burger vans, stalls from all the different supporters groups. Bang, you're onto something there. You know, cheeky concert at the end, you know, Jack Parrott, Too Rude, you know, maybe both of them, you know, perfect. And how much money do you think we'd made out of that? An absolute fortune. You know, I'd say 5k plus. Now that's 5k that we wouldn't usually have. That goes in and turns that 250 into 245. Christmas do makes a few grand. A couple of other fundraisers through the season, and a few other incentives. And between us as fans, we could have fundraised 50 of that 250. Then obviously with the upping of donations and things like that, you know. But at the end of the day, when we need to up donations, when people can't really afford to up their donations, we're in a position where we need to plug that gap a little bit harder ourselves as supporters groups, should we say. At the end of the day, the board know that there's people there willing to help. I mean, I'm one of them. My future father-in-law, Phil, is one of them. There's other people out there, I'm certain, are the same, willing to help if we could find an incentive that's going to make the club money to help plug that gap, so it's not an acceptable loss anymore. It is us self-sustainable, which is the whole point of being fans owned, is to create a self-sustainable football league club, and we haven't achieved that. So the way we're going to achieve that is to plug the gap. And how are we going to plug that gap? We got to fundraise. We got to get more money into the club through our own incentives. I'm just going to keep repeating myself now, aren't I? You know, it's just frustrating, really frustrating. But end of the day, I mean, you know, I'll be volunteering again next season. I know a couple of people have asked about, you know, how can you do blogs but volunteer, because of the whole I'm not supposed to put anything out on social media that's harmful to the club. End of the day, I'm not going to try and do anything harmful to the club. I just have an opinion, and I've been doing these blogs for some years now. I'm not just going to stop doing them, you know, just because I'm a volunteer, because I'd rather give the volunteering up to keep doing this, if I'm being perfectly honest, because this channel, this YouTube channel, engages supporters, engages other football fans from across not just the country but the world. So what we want to see is this sort of thing continuing. But then it's the whole principle of being told I can't have my opinion because I'm volunteering for the clubs. I'm giving up my time. I'm not giving up my freedom of speech as well, you know. But I understand, you know, that there's a line. But trust me, on these blogs, I'm not planning on crossing that line. But anyway, other than all that then, guys, things are looking okay, are they? I mean, if the kit is being launched, does that mean that it's going to be for sale? I don't know, I might have missed that part. If it's going to be for sale on Tuesday night, I don't know. We need to try and make some money somewhere. Because at the end of the day, if we're not plugging that gap, then if we don't have something like a cup run or some proper player sales, then we're lumbered with 250k of debt in the next season, and we're going to need to shift season tickets on the cheap to cover that. Let's hope that it doesn't come to that. Let's hope that between us, obviously the deadline's passed now on the survey that was put out by the board. From speaking to people, I get the feeling that the majority of people are going to have opted for the hybrid model. Obviously, businessmen, supporters trust, and the council, which is what got Swansea to where they are now. I know Swansea just fell out of the Premier League, but the fact is they're in that mix. They're Premier League or aspiring Premier League if they're not in the Premier League. We are League Two, in no stable position to move forward, and in a vulnerable position if we moved backwards. So we need to get ourselves out of that, at least out of that vulnerable position. We need to put ourselves in the position where if the worst was to happen and we weren't to go down, we need to be in a position where we're equipped to launch an assault to come straight back up. And then if we want to be anything better than League Two, and of course we do. I mean, if someone could say, you know, Newport County, you do this and you'll be Premier League one day, bang, of course we're going to do it. But we don't want League Two isn't the highest level that we want to be at. We want to see ourselves tested at higher levels. We want to get to League One, Championship, Premier League one day. Why not? If Bournemouth could do it, if Swansea could do it, then surely we could do it one day if we make the right move now. So let's see what this vote is going to produce for us now, and let's see what involvement we can get and see how the club can move forward. But we have to, until that point now, we have to figure out how to plug the gap. Anyway, I'll leave it there then, guys. Thanks again for watching all, and until we actually manage to get a friendly that's not behind closed doors, I'll see you then. Alright, cheers all, and until next time, as always, up the county.